that come from a manuscript called The Dream That Is Childhood, a memoir in verse. And most of this takes place at a place called Lake Minchumina, which is dead center of Alaska, 70 miles northwest of Mount Denali, which some of you may know as Mount McKinley. Except the first one. Summer heat, Fairbanks in the 1950s. Not the search for soda empties along the slough where the hobos slept got them into trouble. Although the glance of men entrancing despite their seediness and more, the dime per bottle at the corner store daily spurred the girls 8 going on 18. Not the dives down the banks of the river fed by the slough got them into trouble. Although the fright of earth crumbling beneath their feet as they slid, and more, the near escape from the swift current addicted these two together for a summer to dare again. Nope. Not the way they badgered the boys when they shouted, "Ha, ha, 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 you stink," got them into trouble. Although the chance they might be caught when the boys gave chase, and more, the marvel they outran the tormented, encouraged these budding goddesses to tempt fate, often, Nor was it the saunter in the middle of Lacey Street yelling, "I'm immortal," that landed a scolding. The power to stop traffic and more, to buy melt-in-the-mouth malt balls with the profits of gathering glass, emboldened these friends, sizing up life to push their luck. One day, heat into the 90s, no one at home, sandy dirt in the backyard, easy to dig, a shovel in the shed. Why not a swimming pool? A pit long and deep with squared up corners, water cold from the hose, swimsuits donned for a lengthy soak. The chill short-lived, the water sunk into earth. Pursuit of comfort egged them on, shiny tarps in the shed, with a snip here and a cut there. Perfect size to line the pool. The water held and the girls cooled proud. The sun still awake at 9 p.m. These pleased and pampered princesses clean after a bath with hot water, sat in pajamas at the table sipping hot cocoa mother made. Thunder detonated in the backyard. Father, over 6 feet of man, red-faced, this expert pilot of the North Country towered into the kitchen. "What have you brats done with my new wing covers?" With a nod for mother, the girls skedaddled up the stairs, sweltered under a pile of quilts until the storm passed with a slam of the front door. The pit caved in after several summers. The site reverted to vegetable garden. Patched to new wing covers held out the weather from father's airplane untold seasons. The girls, inspired to build the first outdoor swimming pool in Fairbanks, Alaska, clever in the use of found materials, victorious over the heat for one day, became legendary through 4 generations. That water holding. Now we do go to Lake Minchumina. And I did go there this summer after 30 years plus of not seeing it. And the place does have a hold. It's not just memory. This is Treehouse. Another family with kids arrived at the station on the lake. Tall and skinny Tommy Weed, 3 years beyond my 9, exuded the allure of something I wanted but could not define. Our parents released us with our younger brothers to the supervision of the outdoors during the long light of that summer. This gang of 4 rode sometimes by foot down the airstrip, quiet most of the day, along the road winding through the woods to the garbage dump, the beach, or places off limits like the heavy equipment rusting behind the generator house. We stuck close to our enclave. The woods I loved oppressed Tommy. I felt the faint edges of disappointment. Like security guards, we noted any flicker of change that could alleviate our boredom. One day, not there before, we spotted a pile of lumber behind the commissary. Clean boards, unweathered, free of knots. A week later, untouched, not tarped down yet. The ghost of a treehouse, piecemealed with gray knotty scraps, taunted. My brother and I had laid a single floor, airy and rickety with bent nails. Our ladder of 2x4 stitched the tree at odd angles, a short life. The temptation of boards, smooth, solid, plentiful, available, not on me. I approached Tommy. This crew of four hauled lumber, watched Tommy work, and handed him nails. Tommy could drive a nail straight into the wood without bending it. He built a 3-story, 3-sided suite spanning 3 birches with steps nailed level up the tree that leaned a little. Sturdy, snug, and no daylight showed through the floorboards. The station manager came to speak to our parents. Our parents questioned us, zeroed in on me. The lumber was just lying there, used only a few boards. We could use old lumber before. The house was allowed to stand at variance with government housing standards, hidden from inspector eyes just in the woods. Clean lines and coherence won the day. Our edifice endured after Tommy left, his family able to take the wilderness for only 1 year. Mine moved on 2 summers later before the treehouse was rendered invisible by the elements in the woods. Its memory alive, this 3-story house, after 50 years and many homes, the only house I ever had built. This last poem is shorter anyway, Checking Nets. Joyful to leave mosquitoes on shore, I jump into the skiff with Dad to check nets set out in the lake to feed dogs, and sit on a board jammed onto struts near the bow, watching to place my feet on slats that comb the bottom, pulling the slosh of water mixed with fish gunk and gas rainbows. Dad tells me to bail out the boat, careful to keep my fingers on the edge of an empty number 2 tin can dry. I scoop up bilge and let it pour over the side. When the water line has dropped, my fingers and shoes are wet, and I ask, is it okay to stop? He says, yes. Today the nets have tendered the few fish that litter the bottom of the boat. Dad chokes the outboard motor as we glide toward the last set. Corks lined up straight, but sunk low toward the middle, a sign of abundance. He starts at one end, holds each fish by the gills in the left hand, dripping gore, while the right disentangles net that snags one body and strangles it, but wraps another into a complete mummy that comes back to life when pulled out of the lake, its frenetic pulse slowing to final breath as Dad tosses one more onto the pile that flows toward the bow. I keep myself hunched up small against the quickening of mosquitoes that find us in the middle of the expanse, against the crawling of leeches and slime laced with blood that oozes out of the lacerations, and I, enclosed by diminished space on a craft floating over darkness, wonder if they ever saw the nets, entanglements from which they seldom wriggled free. Did they mistake the brush of mesh for the crests of water weeds, puzzled that safety ensnared them with such certainty?
Thank you.